Thank you all for being here. It's a privilege and a pleasure to meet Marianne and to ask a few simple questions. Clearly, my view is that your practice has been centered in portraiture, but you don't think of yourself only as a portraitist. Can you tell us how you arrived at this very identifiable, can I call it humanist style of photography?
First of all, I started as a street photographer. I wish I were better at it, because I still do street photography. I still go out in New York and different events and take pictures. Portraits would take a little bit longer to learn how to do, because you have to kind of take control of people when you do portraits of them. And when you start out, you're usually very sort of timid.
Different kinds of photographers insert themselves more or less into the work. You, we know, you've returned to the same subjects loyally again and again. At the same time, I don't think I'd see you as an autobiographical photographer.
Not like myself. I never photograph myself.
You never photograph yourself, and yet this is your life that you recount to people. And when you went to Bombay, you lived with those prostitutes for a while.
I didn't actually, I lived in a hotel, but I spent like the entire day until late at night with them.
So,
because they wouldn't let me live there, because the all-night customers are coming in and I would take business away from them.
you have said often that you're not an autobiographical person, and yet all of these pictures are about people you're much more than passing through their lives.
I like to return. I think it's fascinating to follow people's lives. I really got to know the women and to really love them. And when I left, the day before I was leaving, this Soroja, who was the main madam that I worked with, threw a party for me, and she made chicken biryani. It was really good. And we were crying. It was very emotional. And one of the customers came by and he said, "Well, why are you crying?" And I said, "Oh, because I'm leaving." He said, "Well, go back to New York, find some fine women, and come back here and open up your own brothel." So,
is it something which has affected your whole career, that being a woman photographer is specifically different? Is it something where you couldn't have done the things you've done as a man?
well, men have done, can do them. I think women have an advantage in documentary work because they're less threatening, and people can just, I can knock on a door and have a better chance of getting in. Don't get me wrong though, I think in the world of photography, it's tough being a woman.